Hey, I'm so glad you're watching this week. You know, I wanted to mention real quick, if you're not receiving our magazine, The Routine, then you need to sign up so you can start getting it. Or you can download it on your iPad, and I really think you'll enjoy it. In fact, the topic of the latest issue is all about getting organized, how clutter blocks success. So be sure and download it so you can get a fresh copy every time a new issue comes out. Well, you know, this month I've been talking about tailor-made temptations. A very serious topic, but one that I believe needs to be addressed because I know that my purpose is to help you fulfill the assignment that God has put on your life. Fulfill your dreams, your goals, your life assignment down to the last detail. However, in order to do that, you have to realize a dream comes about with much business and painful effort. And what do I mean by that? Well, Satan, your enemy, is going to use whatever tactic he can to try to distract you from fulfilling your dreams. And one of the ways he does that is through temptation. He is looking for any area in your life that you have left unguarded. You've left maybe a weakness unattended in your life. And that's the area where he's going to come in and try to destroy your life. He wants you to get your mind off the plan of God. He wants you to be so focused on right now that you stop looking down the road at what all God has for you. And you know, Satan's plan is very strategic. Nothing about it is coincidental. It just makes me hate him that much more. But everything about his plan to destroy every single one of us is very thought out, very strategic. You know, I was reading a story in one of Beth Moore's books, and she was talking about this family who owned they owned a lot of acreage, but what they raised was these little miniature horses, which sounds really adorable. But they had all these little miniature horses, and then right next to their property was a wildlife park. Well, one day the husband and wife, they're out walking on their property, and they noticed a weak spot in their fence. The fence was caved in, they noticed it, they talked about it, but they chose to ignore it. Because honestly, and I understand that, if you've got extra money, who wants to spend it repairing a fence, right? So they just ignored it. Well, as time went on, the fence obviously didn't get stronger, it got weaker. Well, one morning, the wife, she went home for lunch, and she's sitting at the kitchen table, and when she looks out the window, a male lion from the wildlife park, came onto their property and was tearing to shreds her favorite little miniature horse. Well, when Beth Moore wrote about that story, she paralleled it to exactly the way the devil operates. He is looking for any area in your life, a weak spot that you leave unattended. You ignore it. You know, maybe you look good everywhere else, but you leave this one area alone. And when he observes that weak spot that's left unattended, you can count on it. It's just a matter of time. The fence is down, the lion's in the yard, and he is devouring everything precious to you. Whatever that means to you. It could be your marriage. It could be your family unit. It could be your money, your finances, your career, whatever it is. He wants to devour what is precious to you, the call of God on your life. So we have to wake up and realize, what are those weak areas in my life, and then put boundaries on ourselves. You know, in the series that we're advertising this month, it's all about tailor-made temptations. And I talk about how to establish boundaries, because your boundaries may be different than my boundaries. But you have to realize, where are those areas in your life where you need to pay strict attention and put a boundary there. And it could be something as simple as certain movies that you don't need to watch anymore, and I'm not even just talking about pornographic movies. I'm talking about certain movies that you don't need to watch because maybe it reminds you of something. It reminds you of a person. There may be certain music that you can't listen to anymore because every time you listen to it, it takes you back. It causes your emotions to just go downhill. It causes you to get depressed. There may be certain places that you can't go anymore. Places that, you know, bring up memories of the past, or places where you know someone's going to be that you don't need to be around. Which leads me to the next one. There could be certain people that you know, in order to reach your dreams, in order to fulfill your assignment, you know without a doubt in your mind you don't need to be around that person. Well, you need to put a name to it, and you need to say, I cannot be around that person. I can't talk to them. I can't text them. I can't see them. I can't email them. You have to be honest with yourself. What are those areas where you know Satan would love to come in and destroy your life? Maybe certain websites you don't need to visit anymore. Then you have to put a boundary on it. But you have to think down the road. You may be paying a price right now, but you're going to be so happy you paid the price. And I love what Rick Warren says. He says you have to refocus your attention. Get your attention off that weakness, off that temptation, but refocus it on something else. It's not enough to just go, I will not think about that person. I will not think about alcohol. I will not think about alcohol. Well, the fact that you're saying that means you're thinking about alcohol. So you have to refocus your attention. And this is what Rick Warren says. Once your mind is on something else, the temptation loses its power. So you have to decide, what can you get your mind on? Well, the tip I would like to offer is something that I did years ago, and I still do this. But when you start listening to the Word of God consistently, get some motivational messages. Get this series on tailor-made temptations. Put it on in your CD player, get your iPod, whatever you need to do. Download these messages, listen to them, but get your mind on a project. Whatever that is. You could paint a room, you could make a scrapbook, you could clean your car, you could clean the laundry room, clean out the refrigerator, you could go for a walk. Whatever it is, you could decorate a room, you could file all your bills that are piling up, but get your mind on a project while you're hearing the Word of God. That's how you start refocusing your attention. And like Rick Warren said, once your mind is on something else, that temptation loses its power. So, I want you to realize there's too much at stake. There's too much at stake for you to go back to those old temptations, or for you to yield to one that Satan seems to be dangling in front of you right now. You have too much to lose. It's not worth it. Don't fall for the trap. Don't fall for the deception that Satan is trying to present before your eyes right now. Realize it's a trap, something that you will regret for the rest of your life possibly if you yield to this temptation. I don't believe it's a coincidence that you're watching this podcast, because it could be that this is the very thing God wanted you to see to say, wake up. Now let's get serious. Get this thing behind you, shake it off, get focused on a plan, hear the Word of God consistently. Consistency is the key to change. And then get focused on the dreams and the goals that God has put in your heart. So, thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you next time.